Alright, so let's talk Microsoft and Game Pass for Windows. And let me begin with this. I'm in no way sponsored for this. It would be awesome if I was, but this is just my opinion on the service. And let's start at the beginning. Microsoft has been making strides with a whole bunch of different service types ever since its, let's say, lackluster launch into this generation, in which its original reception from the public was not so great, and it had a struggling exclusives library. Microsoft needed an edge. Mixer is a very cool addition to the console, competing with Twitch and giving every Xbone owner the ability to stream their gameplay with extreme ease. And you can find me on there. But what about that exclusives issue? One of the biggest deciders on which console flag you're gonna fly are what games are available on that system. Well, yes, there are a few good picks for the Xbox, like the obvious Halo, Gears, and Forza franchises as like some examples, which are great games. However, this library in no way competes with the massive amount of exclusive experiences on the PS4 and Switch. So what did Microsoft do to give them that competitive edge in the industry? Xbox Game Pass, a Netflix-style subscription that treats games like movies and TV shows. You subscribe to the service individually or lump it into your gold for a relatively cheap price, and for the most part, all Xbox owners I know are actually subscribed to this service, giving the games that are on the Game Pass a boost to their potential players, and giving players looking for common games to play together a great deal of options. I find myself going through the list of games on Game Pass after making a new friend, looking for something for me and my new buddy to play together. And of course, Game Pass is not limited to multiplayer experiences, or just Microsoft-owned games. There are a ton of single-player titles, third-party games, and ranging from indie to AAA games, altogether offering a great deal for whatever you're into. And as somebody who plays with it by himself, there is a plus. Altogether, the Xbox Game Pass is a huge selling point for the Xbox One, giving the console a fair shake in the market, and giving subscribers access to a constantly expanding library. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. There is something else Microsoft has under their belt, an almost complete monopoly for the longest time, and has been neglected by Microsoft in regards to gaming. Now, you guys probably know, I primarily play on PC. And when you think of PC gaming, what operating system do you obviously smack on that RGB-fueled powerhouse you just spent 2 hours building? Or comes installed on a pre-built system you just bought? Windows, that thing Microsoft started off with in the first place? Now, yes, you can play games on Linux and Mac OS, but that severely handicaps you and limits your options in regards to gaming. So Windows is what you're going to be playing on. Now, the Windows Store did always sell games, but there's mixed in with a whole bunch of mobile-type games and just crap, and it altogether is a lackluster experience. And you know you're gonna go pick up that latest title on Steam, if Epic Games doesn't swoop in and shit on everybody's Cheerios, but that's a subject for another video. And there has been apps, like the Xbox Companion app that allows you to talk to your friends on Xbox and do profile-related things, but it's the same thing you can find on your mobile device, and it's kinda lackluster on the Windows experience. Now, what Microsoft did semi-recently, and should have done a hell of a lot earlier, was add Game Pass for Windows, and I needed to check it out. So, most of the multiplayer games on here can be played with Xbox users, and it's tied to your Xbox profile, but I'll get to that later in the video. For now, let's talk games, the bread and butter of this service. For the PC right now, there are a decent amount of games available, and since I got the service about a week ago, 5 more decent titles have been added, so they are updating the service, for now at least. I'm currently checking out Rage 2, which is one of those recently added titles. I'm loving it, but I don't think I would have bought the game without this service. And that's just what I love about the Game Pass. It gives me the ability to check out games I'm interested in, but I don't have to shell out that $60 to do so. And let's be honest guys, not everybody here gets free copies of games to play, and to try everything in this oversaturated market can cost a pretty penny. If you aren't entirely sure if a game was gonna be something you would like, you pass it up and potentially miss out on an experience that could be your new favorite game. Another good example is Forza Horizon 4. I normally don't like racing games, and the last time I bought one was on the PSP. But being that it was on the Game Pass, I said screw it, downloaded it, and now I'm currently streaming my grind to purchase a Warthog. I'm loving it. And on the other end of the spectrum is Sea of Thieves. A game I always thought was interesting. But now, I found out it is fucking boring, and I would rather get seasick in real life than spend another second whacking my pool noodle sword into the world's most IQ-accurate rendition of a skeleton. One thing to note though, that the Xbox Game Pass on Xbox does offer more games than the PC Game Pass does right now, so you're not going to be able to play everything that you can on your Xbox. when I can see it doesn't limit this service all too much. And this is just a guess here, but it could be a legal thing between Microsoft and the game publisher itself. Let's say, for example, Square Enix said, yeah, you can put this game on your Game Pass, but they also signed a contract with, let's say, Steam, so that they would only sell their game on the PC on their platform. But that's just speculation. Another cool feature that I haven't used yet is cloud-based game saves, which is in itself cool, but not only is your save there for your PC, but you can also pick up where you left off right on your Xbox and vice versa. So if you plan on playing on both, I can see this being a very useful and cool feature. So let's quickly scroll through what Microsoft has to offer here. So here's the screen you're going to be looking at to browse the games that you have in your service. Here are the recently added games. As you can see, a pretty decent selection. I believe I hopped in right as they added The Outer Worlds, so a lot more than 5. You have different lists you can go through here, like most popular, Xbox Live games, all games of course, and then you even have different genres you can go through. Let's look at all games, and just scroll through so we can see a little bit of what we have to offer here. Games like Abzu, Ape Out. This one seems pretty interesting. I have it on my PC in my living room. Games like Ark Survival Evolved. You have Battlefield Gothic Armada, which is something I really wanted to get into. Another game that I just didn't shell out the money for, but I'm really interested in playing. I have that installed over here. Everspace, Gears 5, Gears 4, Gears Ultimate Edition, Goat Simulator if you're really into that. You have Halo Wars Definitive Edition, Halo Spartan Assault, which is a glorified mobile game. Hodaful Boyfriend, you even got your dating simulators on here. Hollow Knight is a great game. Kingdom Come Deliverance, a AAA title that melts a lot of PCs and is just beautiful, awesome role-playing game that I hopped into a long time ago, and now I have the chance to hop into again. Middle-earth Shadow of War, another AAA game. Metro Exodus, which if you don't like the Epic Game Store, is a fantastic way to get it, which you can also just buy it off the Windows Store, I think. If not, then there you go. Mutant Zero, I love my turn-based games. Prey, Rage 2, like I said. And here's just a couple examples. I'm not going to read off every single one, but I'll scroll through so you can see. Every time you want to check out a game, you can click it, and it'll go through a basic store page where you can see trailers, pictures, descriptions, and all that bullshit. And as you can probably see while we were scrolling, it is a buggy mess. So let's talk about implementation and actually using the service. So here's something you're going to be working with a lot, especially if you're playing with your Xbox friends or if anybody on the Windows Store. The Xbox Game Bar. This feature has been on Windows for a long time, and it is pretty useful, and I use it a lot, especially when I'm streaming. I don't stream off of this, but I use it to adjust my audio mostly, and also to talk to my Xbox friends. I would love if they had the ability to use Discord, but you know, we can't have everything. So, one big feature over here is the audio bar. I do try to use it a lot, but it breaks, and a lot of the times all I see is just this soundbar audio, and it doesn't show all of these different things that we have over here. Another thing that we have which is pretty cool, is the performance. You can see what your CPU, GPU, RAM, and frames per second is going on here in live little screens, and I find it pretty useful, especially while I'm streaming, so I can diagnose issues without having to open up a completely separate application. You have looking for group over here. It's alright. I use it a couple times when trying to find games or people to play with. You have your social over here, which I probably have a bunch of people blocked out, but you can look and see what your friends are doing. One thing that I have a problem with, though, is the party system isn't the same, and to get in and out of parties is a bit of a pain in the butt. It's very hard to actually invite people to a party, or you have to add people to a chat over here, which doesn't always invite them to the party. I might just be stupid and be using it wrong, but I often get booted from parties a lot. It doesn't accept the right audio interfaces or like outputs, and it's a little weird. The games that you have installed are going to be located over here. You also have a social page over here where you can talk to all your Xbox friends, and that's about it. One cool thing that I do like about the Xbox games that you can get is they make some pretty decent looking tiles that you can put right here in your start menu. Now this is in beta, but most of the issues I have with bugginess comes from the actual Xbox application itself here. You notice, well, let's go, say, back into all games. It takes a long time to load, and while you're scrolling, it stops, stutters, loads, and it just freezes a lot. Another crappy thing is that when you're looking into here, let's say we wanted to look into Hotline Miami, we go into it, we go back to go continue scrolling, but then it goes all the way back to the top of the list and you have to scroll through this buggy menu all over again. Now, like I said, this is in beta and I hope they fix it soon, but it is a pain in the ass to try to even look for a game. Okay, so the biggest thing that I have an issue with so far is hopping into a game for the first time. There's something exciting about doing that. Now, Xbox has found a way to completely destroy that excitement, and I'll show you why. I'm going to open up a game right here, Battlefield Gothic Armada. I haven't opened this one up before. And what happens is, when you first launch a game, it goes and tries to link your accounts, but then it pops underneath the screen and gets rid of the game so the game is running in the background, and we're going to try to capture that here, and it's really crappy. Okay, see right here. It pops this screen up. Now this one is less intrusive than it normally is. And then it goes into your Xbox profile, you say let's play, and it connects the game to your Xbox profile. Normally, if it doesn't start so smooth, it boots you out of the game, so the game is running in the background, this loads in the foreground, and sometimes it even pops back and forth between this and the game, making it almost impossible to control either, and it destroys your experience hopping into the game for the first time. And now we can play the game. Here is a better example that I had recorded at another time where I had launched up Ape Out and it had popped me completely out of the game so that I can accept this. You can see how this can be very annoying when opening up a game for the first time. So in conclusion, guys, I do think that you should buy it. For what's on there now, I believe it's worth it, and hopefully they keep updating. I do notice that there's lulls every now and then, but for the most part, there's always something for me to do, and it keeps me from buying games mindlessly when I want something new and then never play again. So you know the deal. Like, subscribe, take a look at the details of my social media, and have a great day.